For the first time in April, I'm going to grow cucumbers and acorn squash indoors. And then outside, I'm going to directly sow carrots, radishes, and green onions in a raised bed. And I'm also going to directly sow peas and green beans outside, as well as some flowers like nasturtiums and clematises. But the clematises, I'm actually going to just buy from the store and then transplant them and then put the flowers along the garden fence to attract pollinators and just to beautify the garden. I'm transplanting the clematises from the store because I heard it takes like 2 to 3 years to grow inside. So it's just much faster to do it this way. Maybe one day I will attempt growing them inside. I probably should start now. We'll see. I will also plant herbs like dill, lemon balm, and cilantro in pots. I want to grow the lemon balm to act as a repellent for mosquitoes. We have so many mosquitoes here, so I'm gonna place pots all over the area, especially the garden, so it just can be more of a pleasurable experience. I will also inoculate mushrooms in straw bales for the first time this year, which I'm really excited about. Mushrooms grow naturally around here so easily. So I thought, let me try this because I am for sure they are going to be very plentiful here. It's been a very snowy winter, so all of my plans got pushed back because of the inclement weather. I will transplant 20 pounds of seed potatoes that I bought from a farm, as well as 3 currant bushes. Now I'm going to get into how many of each I'm going to direct sow, start indoors, and transplant. So for the cucumbers, I'm going to do 60 of them, 10 of the acorn squash, 6 of the basil, about 120 of the carrots, 160 radishes, 60 potatoes, about 90 pole and runner beans, and 80 peas. I am going to make a 4x4 foot and 16-inch raised bed, about 4 of them outside, hoping that they will fit. So now I'm going to show you how I will be planting the cucumber and acorn squash inside. So let's get started with that. I'm going to plant the acorn squash and cucumbers in these 4-inch pots because acorn squash and cucumbers are notorious for having really sensitive roots and they really don't like being transplanted. So I'm going to try to minimize the amount of times they get transferred as best as I can. I'm going to use potting soil because they need nutrients and their roots grow really fast. I'm laying down all of my pots in my working space that should be on top of trays. I just forgot to put it here. I'm going to use mostly potting soil and then mix that with some seed starting soil because I wanted to try to save some money this way. I like to pre-soak the potting soil because in my experience, they germinate way faster that way. Now for the acorn squash. They like to be planted about 1/2 inch deep. That's pretty deep compared to all the other things that I've grown this year. Now for the cucumbers. They also are planted 1/2 inch deep. Acorn squash and cucumbers need darkness to germinate, so I'm covering them with soil. So the water that I used to soak the soil in, I'm just going to reuse that to moisten the seeds. Every time I water them, they will kind of scatter all around, so I'm just making sure that they are covered deeply enough. I made such a mess doing all of this, so I'm just cleaning up everything. So now I'm just adding a heat mat so that they have warmth to help them germinate. 3 days later, they germinated. I was very shocked because this was the first time I've ever had anything germinate this fast. That's all I'm doing right now for April. I'm going to start most of my seeds outside.